All right, man. Let's do an Aphex Twin albums, projects, EPs tier list. I just included the EPs because they were on streaming. That's really all. And like this was the only tier list that didn't have like the EPs or like all songs or all 40 projects this guy's made. As I said though, or I haven't even said this yet, but like I'm not including every project he's made under like the Analog Bubble Bath, whatever AFX name. I'm not including all those. I don't really care. I just listen to everything that was on streaming. That's all I really got to say. And then we got Window Liquor EP down there. I kicked that down there just in case. I don't know if YouTube's going to take me down for having an uncensored version in the video. There's other Aphex tier lists, and this is included, and it's uncensored, and they didn't get taken down. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to keep it down there, just censored for like the first 2 or 3 minutes or something. I don't know how long this is going to run. Yeah, let's see. Let's go. Starting us off at the bottom, we got Controlled Acoustics EP. This thing sucks. It's literally just a bunch of, like, not even songs, dude. It's just like, there'll be a few drum hits, but, it'll just be like, and then it's over. And I'm like, okay, thank you for that. It's a waste of time. I hate this EP, man. It sucks. It's a bunch of unfinished songs that Aphex released for no reason. Like, what was the point of that? I don't understand why this was released. Yeah, it sucks. As I said, 1. Probably the only straight, like, bad Richard project. D tier, though, moving up, we got, where is it? Donkey Rhubarb. This thing's fine. I like the first track, kind of, and I like the last track, kind of. And then the other 2 tracks are just kind of That's about it. It's okay, There's quality here, but I'm not, like, fiending. Is that a good fiending for it? Yeah, it's just whatever, man. It's like a strong 3 to a light 4 for me. Above that, we got On. It's like same thing, really. There's like 2 tracks on here that I like, and then the other 2 are just It's a decent 4 for me. It's really nothing special, honestly. And then above that, I'm gonna have to throw an EP that I was actually kind of nervous to listen to. That's Ventolin. Oh no, we got Window Liquor now, but I was nervous to listen to Ventolin because like the album version of Ventolin was awful to listen to. So I was like, is it just gonna be a whole EP of that? No, it actually sounds. Honestly, some of these instrumentals kind of sound like old, like dusty hip hop beats. I don't know, man. That's just what I thought of when I heard it. It's quality, honestly. I enjoyed it. I'll say that. It is a strong 5 for me. Yes, I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, it's a strong 5, as I said. And then these 2 are close for me. They're gonna be in D tier too, but I'm gonna have to throw "Come to Daddy" at the top of D tier. Here's my thing with this album or this EP thing. It's got "Come to Daddy" on it. That's a really good song, obviously. I think both mixes of it, both versions, they're very good. I like the first one though, honestly. I like the first one more, is what I'm trying to say. And then there's the Girl Boy remix track, and then there's another song on here. I think it's called like Flim or something. So, this guy's friggin' song names are so weird. But yeah, you have those good songs, and then everything else is just like, So like half of the album is good, it's good, but then like half the album is like B tier, and then the other half is just like D tier, like F tier, and I'm just like, I'll just throw it in D tier, man. Like there's like 8 or 9 tracks on here, and like 5 or 4 of those are just kind of like, no, I'm not really a fan of them. So I had to pull this one down. I like this one though. I like it. It's a strong 6 for me. Above that, we got Collapse EP. This feels like Aphex doing like a whole jam session. He's just kind of like, oh, ba-do-ba-do. And like, there's songs on here. It's so weird because every song on here is like 5 minutes long. And I think they kind of overstay their welcome, but I don't really think there's a bad track on here besides maybe the closer. It's just consistently kind of weird, but not like anything too crazy on the ears. It's just fine, man. It's honestly, I'm gonna throw "Come to Daddy" over it. I was kind of tripping putting that over it. I'm pretty sure it's called Collapse. Yeah, Collapse EP. It's strong 6 for me. It's still good. It's quality. It's quality. And then going into C tier, we got the Cheetah EP. It's really nothing special, honestly. I feel like modern Aphex is kind of, it's not hit or miss. It's just kind of samey sounding. And Cheetah EP is kind of proof of that. It's good. It's a good little EP, but it's nothing like special. And the same can be said for Black Box. yeah, it's basically just a more refined version of Cheetah EP. I think it's definitely not as long. Both of them are 7 out of 10s. I don't know if I rated Cheetah, but yeah, Black Box and Cheetah are like light 7s for me. And then this is probably the biggest travesty in the entire Aphex catalog, Window Liquor. Because here's the thing, this like single, I'll call it an EP because like it basically is an EP. But like here's the thing, the second track, no, it's a skip for me. It's so like it sounds like controlled acoustics, and then the third track is all right, you know. But the title track, Window Liquor, the first track, is a 10 out of 10 song. Like seriously, man, this had to happen. Why, dude? Why did you get like this is Aphex's best song. Window Liquor is Aphex's best song. But like, what was the thought process behind putting a bad song and then a fine song with it? Like, what was the point of that? You could have literally just made this as like a Lucy, and it would have been like, Do Your Thing for Gorillaz or Beef for Cardi. You know, it's like it's a single that just like it stands above everything else for some reason. You know, I don't know, man. It just kind of irritates me that this is like 2 filler tracks tacked onto it, because as I said, the title track, Window Liquor, is literally a 10 out of 10 song. It sounds like a living song. The like way the vocals are warped, it's so good, man. That song's bliss. It's bliss. But yeah, everything else really brings it down for me, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the single or the EP is like a 7 in total. As I said, though, the Window Liquor song by itself is a 100 out of 10. Why did I say 100? It's a 10 out of 10 song. And then above that, I'm going to have to throw Girl Boy EP. I just really like the song Girl Boy. I don't know, man. The remixes are good. It's pretty consistent. It's nothing too special, but, as I said, it's just consistently good. Yeah, it's a decent 7 for me. I like it. And then staying in C tier, got Cyro. It's just a good album, man. It's consistent. There's really no awful songs on here. You, of course, have the closer on here. I don't remember the name of, but it's beautiful as well with, like, the bird noises. I really liked it. Aphex said this is, like, kind of him going, like, pop. And I could hear it in the sound. It definitely sounds a little more, like, sweet sounding. There's certain albums and discographies that I've covered with, like, they have an album where, like, it sounds a little sweet, like RTJ3. It sounds like they're kind of trying to go pop, and I feel like that's kind of how this album sounds. It's still good, though. It's still good. It's a strong 7 for me. I like it. Now, I think this is the point in the video where I should say that the albums in C tier and D tier, like, they aren't even that bad. As I said, I think that Controlled Acoustics is, like, Aphex's only bad project. I think Donkey Rhubarb is, like, mid. On is mid. And then everything else is, like, quality. It's, like, decent to, like, good, I should have probably put that at the end, but, like, I don't really care. Let's just keep going, though, with the rankings. At the bottom of B tier, I'm going to have to throw RDJ. The album. It's good. I feel like I should have said this at the beginning to kind of preface the video, but this is my second time going through Aphex's albums. I tried to go through his albums like maybe 5 months ago, and I quit at RDJ because his music was not invigorating at all. I was like super bored while I was listening to his music, but turning it on now and like kind of doing other things while listening to it, kind of, I don't know, let's say you like read a book or write a story while you're listening to the music. It kind of tends to fade into the background, but it kind of works as background music. And like on first listen, I thought RDJ was really good. I was like, oh, this is like my favorite Aphex project, But now it's kind of grown off me, if I'm going to be honest. I think it's definitely a little inconsistent towards the start. There's some meh tracks on here like Cornish Acid, my bad. But yeah, it starts good with 4. That's a good song. Girl Boy is on here. To Save a Weakling Child, I think. That's how you say it? I don't know. That's a really good song, but like it's just kind of, it's good. It's a pretty good project. It's a light 8 for me, And then above that, I'm going to have to throw Drux. Drux just kind of lacks in its back end. I think like the last like maybe 7 tracks are kind of it kind of starts to fade out a little, and I'm like, I don't really care at this point. It is a little long. I think the fat could have definitely been trimmed off, and it definitely could have been like condensed into maybe a 50, 60-minute long album. That would have been pretty good. But it's still really consistent. I like the piano tracks on here quite a bit. I think it's a little weird sounding. It's one of Aphex's weirdest, if not his weirdest project. It's still pretty good though. It's a light 8 for me. And then above that, I'm going to throw classics. This is just old Aphex. Just like a bunch of old Aphex singles. Tracks on here like Didgeridoo, as well as the second track, are really fun. Yeah, it's just old Aphex, and in all honesty, I prefer old Aphex to anything else he's ever offered. And yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun little album. It's a light 8 for me as well. Staying in B tier though, we got I Care Because You Do. Honestly, I didn't like this one off my first listen. I found this in D tier. I didn't like it. I thought it was pretty inconsistent, but off second listen, I enjoyed this one quite a bit more. It's very good, honestly. It's nothing crazy though. It doesn't compare to the other two albums that are gonna be thrown into S tier. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I Care Because You Do is a decent 8 for me. And then going into S tier, we got Saw 2, Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. Here's the thing with this album. I hated this on first listen. I was like, it's not even like music, dude. It's just like he's pressing 2 keys and repeating it over and over again, dude. It's so boring. This is basically the album that kind of threw me off. It was probably the album that really sealed the deal and like basically said, no, you're quitting on Aphex. And I did quit on Aphex because of this album, probably. Yeah, it was super, like, the fact that this is 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure, and, like, the fact that it's ambient music, I definitely wasn't a fan of it at the time. I still am not the biggest fan of ambient music by itself, but I feel like when you're doing other things while listening to this album, it definitely grows on you, and it definitely did with me. I hated this one before, and I really grew to love it now. The track on here called 7, that's probably like Aphex's second best song. It's so good. It's so beautiful. And I definitely think that the like scary ambient tracks on here kind of drag it down for me, because I think it's a little like, okay, bro, come on. It kind of reminds me of like Soundtracks for the Blind in that sense, where I'm like, okay, bro, I don't really care about these, oh, I'm trying to be scary songs, you know? But yeah, it's still really good. It's still really consistent. The beautiful ambient pieces are on here, and it's just like, it's, as I said, it's just super consistent, man. It's a strong 9 for me. I really like this one. And then above that, we have Saw 1. Aphex's first, like, solo studio album. Why did I say solo? I just meant, like, the first, like, studio album under the Aphex name. But, this one's just, like, fantastic, man. It sounds like, I feel like this and Saw 2 sound like alien music, if that makes sense. Like, this sounds like a very, I don't know, clinical alien facility in like space, and it's like all the walls are white and you're just kind of walking down hallways while this is playing. Like you hear Xtal or XTAL, the opener, and you hear, and I picture like this hallway and it's just white. Yeah, it's very liminal sounding music. I could say that about both Saws, but yeah, I prefer Saw 1 mainly because it's more it's definitely not as ambient. It's definitely more bouncy. I definitely think it has more bangers on it too. I like We Are the Music Makers, the second track, and of course the opener. I think it's very consistent. There's really no bad song on here, besides maybe like Green Calcs. That's not even a bad song. That's just kind of like a little too loud for me. I don't know. It's fantastic, dude. I really love Saw 1 to 10, honestly. I genuinely, this thing genuinely grew on me off re-listen. Yeah, it's super good, man. Super good. It sounds like an alien made it, really. And there's my Aphex ranking. Sorry if I was stuttering a little. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me. Yeah, it was kind of strange to go through his discography because, as I said, I feel like his newer stuff kind of blends together. His EPs aren't that interesting all the time, but yeah, he's pretty consistent, man. As I said, the albums that are in like above F tier, they're not even that bad. Donkey Rhubarb is just mid, and everything else is pretty like decent, you know. Yeah, share your rankings in the comments as always. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.